So welcome back to probably the strangest episode of Petrol Poodle yet, to be perfectly honest. The future of the channel and where has it been? Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird video. I've wanted to film this for a long time, to be honest. I just feel like I want to be as open and as honest as possible with the subscribers and with yourselves. And I know I've only got, 12,000 subs or something like that at the moment, 13,000. In comparison to a lot of big channels, that's nothing. And it's almost like, who do you think you are to even do a kind of where have I been channel to such a small audience? But, well, that one's overheated again. We're on take 2, so we've just lost a camera angle. And one of them is a little gimbal camera here, and it keeps moving around and wobbling about, so I've got it to track me. I hate this framing. Being centered does my head in. It's not how I want it to look, but it also is the only way to guarantee that it's going to keep tracking me whilst we go around corners and things, so sorry about that. Anyway, there's a few things to cover generally, and I'm unsure, to be honest. I'm unsure about what I'm going to do with the channel, how I'm going to make it work. So I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments in the comment section. I'm kind of going back to with this video today, going back to the roots of the channel. I'm going to make a video for me, and it might be a bit waffly, and I apologize, but it's not going to be about engagement. It's not going to be about, keeping the algorithm happy. It's going to be saying what I want to say and giving you as much context as possible. And I think it's a hard thing to kind of sum up. So I suppose just speaking chronologically is what makes sense. So I'm going to try and race through a little bit of the history of the channel and where we've got to and what the current issues are, because there are some issues that nobody understands. Even my car friends who love car YouTube and have been subscribed for ages, they're like, mate, what's going on the channel? Where have you been? And I explain, they're like, oh Christ, yeah, that does make that difficult, doesn't it? People have no idea. So I will cover this stuff, but I'm gonna get rolling. And in this take, because I've had one little go, I'm actually want to start by just genuinely sharing my enormous gratitude, because this channel has been, I think, the biggest inspiration in my life to go and to do what I love doing, and to give you that excitement to realize that you can go out and do a job that feels like it was absolutely made for you, and a job that doesn't feel like you're working when you're doing it. And I was very lucky at my previous job for 8 years, marketing managing, and I was in a band, a signed band with a label and stuff for 9 years alongside, and did tours and all sorts of things. And they were great fun, both in their different ways, but nothing gave me a buzz like running around with cameras, piecing the edit together, talking about cars, for instance, in this, with Petrol Poodle, and then seeing the happy feedback and seeing actually the people it's helped. I still love reading comments when people say, I bought a Suzuki Swift Sport because of your video. It was never going to be on my radar. Thank you so much. I love this car more than anything I've had, and it's been golden to me for a year. And they've come back to the video to tell. And it's just, that stuff is just honestly so rewarding. If I had to give you a spoiler alert and sum a few things up for you now, and then for those who actually care, you can sit and watch all the rest of the details. Here comes the rest of the video. The spoiler alert is, I made quite a big discovery last year that insurance is a massive issue with it. And that effectively, when you take out these cover, temporary fully comp insurance policies like I've always done, so that I'm temporarily fully comp for those people's reviews for the next 3 hours, they actually, if you really read the terms and conditions, they cover you for social driving, not for working. And actually, for a very long time, I technically wasn't working because I was earning nothing from the channel. I wasn't Google AdSense approved and all that stuff. It takes a little while. And so, yeah, I was social driving. I just had some cameras and I was waffling about my thoughts. But realizing and finding out that the only real way that I've discovered, and please, if you're an automotive channel and you know a better alternative, please let me know in the comments or email me. It'll be in the description. The alternative and the only option I've seen is you have to take out motor trader insurance. And long story short, I know someone, a car YouTuber with 100,000 subs, the best he's got it down to is 8.5 grand a year. 8.5 grand a year insurance is mental. That's more than my mortgage every year. And I think JM on cars has mentioned that his was about 12.5, 13 grand. It's really quite substantial. yes, there's good money to be made in YouTube. You can make it a career. When you do, good God, we've seen how many people drive around with a garage of 20 cars. It works out when you get there and when the sponsors come rolling in. And yes, I've had sponsors coming in now, which is really cool. But the background context I wanted to give, and I'm going to tell a much faster version of, is car YouTube for most people is an escape from the job that they don't like doing. And it's like, I got out of, I don't know, working in Tesco, working an office job, blah, blah, blah. And I get to go out and play and be creative with cameras and editing. And even the act of editing on your computer in the evening with a glass of wine or a beer or whatever is so relaxing and so fun. But to rewind the clock, 5 years ago in lockdown, I decided that I wanted to start life again, and I wanted to learn video production properly and go out and be a freelance videographer. And I made that dream, that pipeline dream of not, I made that come true as of Christmas Eve, December 22. And I've been fully freelance ever since. It's been the best thing I've ever done. I've never been so stressed in my life as well. And anyone who started a business or gone self-employed will tell you the same thing. But even just starting the YouTube channel and getting that buzz and getting that feeling was what gave me the boost to go and roll the dice age 29, 30 or something and go, let's just go and do this. For me, the beauty is, and also the problem is, I run around all week, every week with cameras, shooting, editing as my day job now. And running out for a 6th or 7th day that week and adding another edit to my list of things to do isn't the escapism. It's now another shoot. It's another bit of work to do. And where I'm at with the channel, it's 2.5 days of time per video. That's the other thing that people don't realize is 2.5 days of time per video is what it takes of researching, scripting, planning, shooting for half a day, editing for 8 to 12 hours, all in weeks where I'm quite literally averaging 80-hour work weeks at the moment. It's a horrendous work-life balance at this exact moment in time, and has been pretty much since March and April. I've been probably doing 70 to 80 hours a week. And I'm hiring other people to help. I'm paying thousands per month in freelance bills to help with my current workload because I can't keep up enough for my own clients. So trying to shoehorn in all these extra shoots has just been sadly impossible for me to do. But to be honest with the financials of it, pre-sponsorships and stuff, which by the way, I've not had any sponsors that have paid me. I'm not at that stage. But when a video goes brilliantly, it'll make you $1,000. Holy crap, that's great. Over 3.5 years. So it's kind of per month. It's such a small chunk of money. It's like somebody covering your internet every month or paying for your phone contract. You don't feel that difference at all. It doesn't really become an income for a very long time. And I've had videos like the Cayman GT4, the RS6, I don't know, the BBR MX5, the 996, 911. You think all of these cars are popular, they're in demand, people are talking about them, particularly 996s have really become quite popular again. And whenever you have the belief that this is going to be a video that, not really about the money, about keeping the algorithm happy, it's going to help grow the channel. I need to keep, everything has to be successful, has to work, has to perform well. And when it doesn't, it's crushing and you see the rest of your channel numbers go down for a bit. It A, begins to take the fun out of it, and B, when you see that all that time and effort in the busiest work period of your life kind of gives you 130 quid 6 months later, it feels like it's just not viable. So it's kind of left me not sure what to do, because okay, I can drive people's cars third party, and the last few reviews I've done, we've gone down that school of thought, but upon reflection and on the day, just feeling honestly deep down so stressed that I might bin somebody's £70,000 car, it actually, if I really think about it, feels a little bit disrespectful that you would take that gamble with an owner's car. And you think, oh, okay, we'll just take it easy. And I do actually. I don't really drive like a pillock when I'm driving these cars, particularly third party, good God. But when I'm on unfamiliar roads, a long way from home, talking to camera, looking away without realising, kind of look away from the road a little bit more, and you're thinking about what you're saying, and you're trying to tell story, you're trying to remember facts and figures and bullet points you have in your head, your concentration does dip. And I sit there and think, well, those are the circumstances, aren't they, that I'm going to have a small incident or a large one in someone's lovely car. And so, yeah, it's kind of got me cornered a little bit. But it's not to say that when I'm out shooting and talking to camera and meeting the owners, and it's such a privilege, and I feel so blessed that they've allowed me a small channel to drive their car, and they've been so helpful and delightful. And I love the community aspect. I love meeting these people, and I think every single one I've got on with like a house on fire, and we would exchange Steam names on the PC and say, let's play some games in the future together because we both like this game and whatever. And I've gone and stayed at Steve's house up in Nottingham, the R26R owner, and Cayman GT4, and I've had a barbecue in the garden with his family. It's been amazing, and I don't want to be so glass half empty about it. But as you can probably tell, currently working 80-hour weeks for as long as I can remember, it's both the best blessing ever that I've had in terms of I'm so lucky. I do what I love. I have so much job satisfaction. Financially, I'm making up for a lot of lost time. I was in a band for 9 years, losing 2 to 3 grand a year for 9 years in a band, and working lower income jobs to support it. I'm finally catching up with where I feel like I would otherwise have been, and that's lovely. But at the same time, it's burnout central. It's really difficult, and trying to shoehorn in this is just really hard. So I guess what are the options? I'm not really sure. One of the things I shot at Christmas for me, which I thought, right, I want to give this a go and see what happens, is talk in my office, making a little setup, look at the videos, the best and worst of 2024. And that was me summing up all of the cars I'd driven that year, surprise winners of this, the best that, the cars that I have left the biggest mark on me, blah, 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 best sports car, most fun, whatever. And obviously I know that search term wise, no one's searching for best and worst of 24. It's not really catching anything, so I wasn't expecting it to do great, but it also completely tanked. And that format of talking to camera from home, where I'm not at risk of crashing a car in my office, I had wondered for a while, would it be quite fun to make my top 5 recommendations of thises and that's, and going on Auto Trader, looking at what I would actually do with 10 grand, because people come to me all the time saying, mate, me and my wife have got 15 grand. We're thinking a Ford Focus, a Honda Civic, or a whatever. We want it to be probably no older than 6 years or 5 years old or something. Which one should we go for and why? And I thought that could be a fun format because I'm doing half of that homework anyway. And there'll be lots of people that probably applies to. So I've thought about doing that kind of stuff. But currently time is the biggest issue, and then it gets me around the insurance stuff. But also, to be honest, that feels like, from a passion perspective, sat at home making Auto Trader link videos perhaps isn't as exciting as driving your childhood dream car of driving a DeLorean and driving a Lotus Evora and some beautiful classic Porsches and things. So it also feels a bit deep down like you're making the videos for other people and you're not really doing it for you. You're not doing what you're passionate about in the first place. So yeah, I don't really know what to do, but I really don't want this to come across as ungrateful, because it's not felt that way. And I really like the support from everybody, your kindness, and the lovely comments and everything else. It's honestly amazing. When my rule to myself was I'll put out videos as long as they get 100 views, I'll keep making them, was my original mantra. I thought there has to have more than charitable friends and family. And if I have viewers who don't know who I am watching and they actually choose to watch again, then brilliant, and I'm going to keep going. And now I'm on, I don't know, it's over 2 million views now, which is crazy. It's hard to comprehend. And I do get a buzz out of presenting, and I get a buzz out of helping people as well. So I guess what my hope is that work things settle down. Perhaps I get my first employee at some point, because my freelancer costs per month are so stratospheric at the moment that I could afford a I could afford an employee, but I didn't really enter this game to do that either, so I have to think about it. But if I get a bit more time, I would love to come back and find a magic formula. And the videos that have been most rewarding for me to shoot and to make have been the Honda Civic, the Swift Sport, my MX-5, the Volvo, because they're cars that I've actually owned and I have long-term experience and useful things to say, and I know they actually help. And those are the ones where people actually feedback that they've gone and bought the car based on my recommendations and insight. And so, yeah, I can't afford to buy 5 new cars a month and then review them all. I can continue doing content on this Volvo, but it's a bit niche. But yeah, I think that's everything. As I said, it is long-winded, and I'm sorry about that, but it's been bothering me that I've gone quiet, and I get these really lovely comments saying, hey man, where have you gone? Really missing your stuff. Please don't give up. You know, and it's like, your channel could so do this. You so deserve 6-figure subs, and I get these lovely things, and I get so much guilt that I sometimes feel a bit like I've just turned my back on people. So that's it for now, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think would work, what would you do in that situation. Yeah, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe just in case. And I'll maybe see you in the next one. See you later.